Hello, everyone, and welcome to part one of our introduction to Python for Data Science course. This course is going to be very practical, and for part one, we are going to look at a few things that you need to have to get started. Prior to this course, you do not need to have any foreknowledge in programming, but at least you should know how to use your computer. That's all you need. So let's look at what you would be learning at or gaining at the end of the day. So by the end of this particular course, you'll be able to understand the role of Python in data science and then also be able to write basic Python code. You should be able to also use variables, data types, and operators effectively. Then you should be able to implement control structures and we'll look at what control structures are, and then also work with the different data types, lists, dictionaries, tuples, and sets. Then also you should be able to find your way around working with Jupyter notebooks for your data science workflows. Okay, so what do you need to be able to start, you know, working with Python? Okay, so you'd have to get these things installed. You'd have to download Python, right? So the version of Python that you need to have installed would have to be a 3.8 or higher. And then you can also, or you would need to install NumPy. You also need to install VS Code, and then also you need to have a Jupyter Notebook installed. You can use the VS Code extension to also do that. We'll look at how to do all of these things here. Okay, so before we go ahead to do anything else, we want to check or need to check to see if Python is already installed on our local machine. So we'd have to type Python, then dash dash version, and yes, so I have Python installed. So if you have Python installed, you should see something like this, right? But if you don't have Python installed, then it means that you have to download Python, and to do that is very easy. You just have to go to your browser and then you search for Python download, and then you can go in here and then select the latest version and then you download, right, to install. Okay, all right, so I'm downloading this version 3.13. Yeah, I have one to install, but if you install the latest one, so there's no issue. It's not going to give you any problems at all, so I think it's fine. Then you follow the prompts to complete the installation, right? But take note, when you are installing, make sure to click this, right, to choose this option, right, and then also use admin privileges, right, and you can choose, the location where you want to install, maybe add some new features, or you can just go ahead and then install now, right? I have Python installed already, so I'm not going to go through that. But take note, you need to make sure this is properly done, right? Okay. All right. So once you have Python installed, what do you need to do next? So you are going to have to go, right? Okay. So you are going to have to download and install IDE, right? And by IDE, I mean VS Code. So you can go back to your browser again, okay, and then you search for VS Code, right? Download, and then you download uninstall VS Code, right, on your Windows or Mac or whatever you know PC that you are using, right? So you can go in here and then you download and then install, right? You just follow the prompts and then you install. For installing the installation of VS Code is quite straightforward, so I'm not going to go too much into that, right? The next thing that you need to have installed would be NumPy and then Jupyter Notebook. But then with that one, you first have to make sure your VS Code is installed. We are going to install these other packages, through VS Code. Okay, so I have my VS Code installed already. So I'm just going to open VS Code and then go right into it. Okay, so we are going to have to go into our VS Code now. Right, so I have VS Code installed already. So once you open VS Code, you should see an interface like this. Okay, you have your um, your um, menu bar here. Okay, your menu bar up here, and then you have your sidebar here. Right. So this is your sidebar. You have your menu bar up here. You can find a number of different utilities inside here, right? Different menus here that you can enter into. So if you are new to how to use VS Code, okay, it's pretty easy to actually use. Okay, all right. So when you want to maybe create a new file, you can go to your file and then you create a new file from here. You can open up a new window. You can open up existing files inside VS Code. Um, you can you'll be using this a lot. You can set this to auto save so that it automatically saves your work for you as you work along. And then also, yeah, you would have to maybe at a particular point in time you want to do some copy and paste without having to use keyboard shortcuts. You can come in here or you can check you know the keyboard shortcuts from here, okay, for how to maybe undo, redo, copy and paste, all of those things, right? Okay, or to toggle between lines, right? So you can find out that here, but this is one of the most important things, your files and folders, right? So we have this explorer icon here, right? Okay, so when you click on this particular icon, okay, it's going to open up this view for you. And what we have in here, right, is sort of like a source where you can be able to access all your files and folders from. Okay, so all the repositories that you'll be working on in your workspace, you are going to be able to come back in here and then be able to access them from this point. Since you have not opened any file or folder, okay, we don't have anything like that here as yet. Okay, but we can do a quick one. So I'm going to open a new folder. What I'm going to try to do now is to um, go in here and then create a new folder inside my documents. Okay, let me do this way. So I'm creating a new folder inside my document. I'm going to name it um, Python lesson 1. Okay, all right. So I've created this new folder here and it has opened up in VS Code for me. Okay, all right. So once it has opened up in VS Code for me, I can create files and then save them, and they'll be saved inside this working directory. Okay, I say directory, I mean a folder, right? So folders are called directories or repositories. It depends on which context you are using them. Okay, so you can create a new file inside here. All right, so you can see this button at the top. It says new file. You can create another folder inside this same folder, and then we can refresh the Explorer, and also you can collapse the folders, right? All the folders. That means that you just want to make them sort of like close inside our Explorer, but that's not focus for now. All we need to be able to do is to be able to create files, right? So maybe you are going to create a new file, and in Python, when you are creating a new file, you have to first bring your file name, right, and then end it with .py. .py, that's the extension, right? So this part is the extension name, right? And the extension name has to be .py. Okay, so when I save this, I've created my new Python file. Okay, all right, good. So what next are we going to do? So yeah, we are going to have to install Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so when you hit this icon here, right, you see extensions. Okay, so inside extensions, you can install different extensions inside VS Code that you could be working with, and one of the things you'll be working with will be Jupyter Notebook. Okay, all right, so you search for Jupyter Notebook, right? um yeah, okay, so this very one here, so the first one, okay, you have to install this. Okay, I have mine installed already. Alright, so you'd have to install yours, and then you also have to install Notebook um, renderers. Okay, so install these two extensions, right? So make sure you have them installed, right? When you are done installing these two, also install your Python extension. So search out for Python and install your Python extension. Make sure you have your Python extension installed inside VS Code. So you should have all this installed inside VS Code. You are going to be using and needing these things. Okay. All right. Then what next are we going to do? Now, anytime you are working with um, your files and your folders inside, or working on any project inside in the context of Python, okay, when you create your initial project folder, the next thing you have to do is to create what we call a virtual environment. Okay, so how do you create virtual environments, and what are virtual environments? So virtual environment is like a sandbox. Okay, whatever you're going to be doing inside this particular environment is not going to affect any other thing on your PC. So it sort of like protects your other files and folders, and then also any other projects you may be working on. Let's say you're working on Python is used for a number of things. Okay, you can use Python for web development. You can use Python for data science, which is what we are doing right now, and then automations and a whole lot of other things that you can use Python for. Okay, so it's quite vast. Then let's say you're having different types of projects that you want to work on. Okay, you have to install different packages. You're working with a lot of packages, so you don't want some of these ones to overlap and then maybe cause any other issues and all of these things. So you create this safe sandbox kind of a thing, and then you'll be able to work inside this particular sandbox. Okay, so let's create our sandbox. So our virtual environment. So to create a virtual environment, you first of all have to go to terminal, go to new terminal, right? So you're opening it, you're opening, okay, this Windows is terminal. Okay, if you're on Windows, right? You're opening a Windows terminal inside our VS Code. Okay, so you can see here that I have inside my Python lesson folder. Okay, all right, and then all you just need to do right now is to use the command um, Python, then dash VNV, VNV. Sorry, sorry, it should be Python dash M VNV then VNV. Okay. All right. So what this does is it's you can see up here we have created our virtual environment. Okay. So our virtual environment has been created for us, but it's not activated. Okay. Even though we have created our virtual environment, we need to tell Python that okay, I want to actually start working inside this virtual environment. How do we do that? So to activate your virtual environment, right, you need to use this command here. We'll use .venv and forward slash scripts, then forward slash activate. Okay. All right. So now you can see if you do this properly, your virtual environment should be activated. Okay. All right. So now you are inside our virtual environment, and then everything is okay and everything is fine. All right. Then we are going to install our different packages inside here. Okay, so now we can install different packages and then we know that they are safe. They are not going to affect any other thing. So what do we need to install? We'll have to install NumPy. So our package manager for Python is called pip, right? So pip. Okay, and then we will install NumPy. Okay, all right. You're not going to be using NumPy now, but I just wanted to show you uh, how to install packages basically. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one other thing you are going to need to install is called pykernel. So we are going to install pykernel using pip install pykernel. Right. Okay. And what does pykernel? Pykernel is going to compile all our Python code and then help us to be able to run it, especially inside Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so if you don't have it installed, you're going to run into a lot of problems and issues when you are running your code. So you need to install pykernel. Okay, so I have it installed already. That's why you're seeing it. But if you don't have it installed, it's going to run all the installation and everything is going to um, be done, you know, properly. Right. So what next are we going to have to do? Right. So now we have installed pykernel inside here. And then now we are going to have to create a new file. Okay, so I'm creating a Jupyter Notebook kind of a file. Then let me use, okay. So to create a Jupyter Notebook file, right, you would have to just add or change the file extension name. Okay, so you can see here, right? I have my file name, a normal file name, but then the extensions are different. Okay, so a Jupyter Notebook file is different from uh, a Python, a normal regular Python file. Okay, right. So with Jupyter Notebook files, it activates the Jupyter Notebook working environment inside this particular file, and then what it helps you to do is to be able to perform um, data analysis and then data science, machine learning operations, and all of those things. Jupyter Notebook is specifically, created for um, this purpose. You see, so when I save my file with the extension ipy notebook, you would see it opens up a different view, or which is quite, you can see the script writing area is different from how it looks in your normal Python file. Okay, all right. So how do I um, write my code, right? Where do I? So Jupyter Notebook uses what we call code cells. Okay, right. So you have this here. You can click on code, and then you can be able to enter your code, right? Okay. So let's say we want to maybe print, um, say hello world. Okay, all right. and then maybe just run this. Okay. Now, when you are initially starting off, your Python environment doesn't know how to which particular kernel to use to uh, compile the code. Okay, so you have to determine that one. So to do that, you have to go into uh, when this prompt comes up, okay, to select a kernel, you'd have to go inside, your Python environment and then choose your VMV, right? Right. Okay, your virtual environment, and then say that you want to use the kernel inside your virtual environment to compile and run your code. Okay, all right. So it's showing me that there's an error here. I need to add this code here. Close my code. All right, and then I print. Okay. So, all right. Okay, I already installed this. But it seems to be prompting me to do the installation again. Okay, but that's fine. If it prompts you, just go ahead and then run the installation again. Okay, it might take some time to do that. Okay, but once it's done, okay, it would go ahead and then um do it will go ahead and then run your code for you. Okay, so I'm just waiting for a few minutes for it to finish up and then um have us and then run our code for us. Okay, so it's done now, and you can see it has been able to successfully, you know, um, run, okay, our code for us. Okay, so I think I made an error with the um, so I made an error with the name of the package. Okay, so it's supposed to be IPyKernel. So that's why you can see it was requesting or asking us to install. Okay, all right. So we have to do what is proper. Okay, all right. So I think uh, this has already been installed. That's why it's saying that the requirements have been met and that is satisfied. You can see if you try to maybe do this again, right? Okay, maybe and print. Okay, so now everything is running nicely, and then you are good to go. Okay, all right. So I'll see you in the next lesson.